Hello, hello, hello. We're opening with Epstein, or Epstein, as we should say. Do you remember Jeffrey? Do you remember Jeffrey Epstein? We say it like that because that's how Jeremy Corbyn says it, so it must be right. There's been lots of stuff happening in the Epstein. They've done loads of releases of footage of mountains of footage. Are you on the list? Are you on the list? I was very disappointed. I didn't make the list. I wasn't on the list. Mainly the rich and powerful on the list, and I love it because people are aghast. They go, oh, "I can't believe this, that, and the other." But again, come on, what do you expect the rich and powerful to do? They're not going to sit at home worrying about the price, of the shopping bill, are they? They're going to get up to all sorts of shenanigans, and they're all going to be in it together. So yeah, there's this footage that's come out. If we've got to wait through the advert, I should have got it queued up first. Mind you have got. Is this the advert for the Melania film? Is everyone going to go and watch that? So that's a good one, isn't it? Apparently, it hasn't done very well. Do you want to go and see the Melania documentary? No. Okay then. Anyway, so Epstein. Epstein. I'm going to go back to. I've got stuck in the Corbyn mode. Has been filmed. Look, he's on the kitchen table. This is on Pedo Island, and he's chasing apparently young women around, but you can't see them because they're a series of black blocks. Apparently, this is disturbing footage. But this is what the rich and powerful do, isn't it? And as you can hear, they seem to be in great distress. They're laughing. If you didn't pick that up on the. But this is how the rich and powerful live. You can chase people around with gay abandon. You never know. They could be good friends of his. We'll never know. But anyway, before I get accused of being, whatever words you want. So I'm just laughing at all the news stories about Epstein. But he was running after two young women inside his house in Little St James. That's known as Pedo Island. That's the private Caribbean island at the centre of the abuse scandal. But again, it's very hard to figure out who filmed it, who was in it, and what exactly was going on. We also had. Again, it's a bit hard to name him now because he's the prince formerly known as Prince, isn't he? And we had him. Now, obviously, this is the picture that's doing the rest, but obviously, it's a game of Twister that's gone wrong. We've all been there. We've all done that, haven't we? So yeah, the Prince formerly known as Prince Andrew is also for the high jump because he was a naughty boy too. He wanted to be, again, in a message, he wanted to be Epstein's pet, and it wasn't good for Fergie either. Yeah, he's Andrew's ex-missus, Sarah Ferguson, said in one email that he should marry her. Now again, she claimed that she distanced her. GB, he's a triple agent like Robert Maxwell, his mate was. KGB, Mossad, probably America as well, but they're going to hide that stuff. He was supplying information to everyone. But the news story, this is just broke this morning. A victim of Jeffrey Epstein had he'd actually fathered a baby by her, and apparently she had the baby snatched away from her 10 minutes after birth. Right? And the billionaire had multiple secret children in the hope of creating a superior gene pool. Wait a minute, isn't that the same line that Elon Musk has been using over the years? But yeah, apparently in the 3 million documents, there's a diary entry of one of Epstein's victims. I've got to stop saying it like that. I've got the Corbyn thing in my mind. One of his victims gave birth to a baby girl in 2002 when she would have been about 16 or 17 years old. But yeah, the victim expresses discomfort. What she says was Epstein's going to create a superior gene pool by having a baby with her, a concept she likens to Nazi ideology. Eugenics. Why me? It makes no sense. Why my hair and eye colour, she wrote in the diary. I guess she was probably blonde and blue-eyed then. Meanwhile, the New York Times had previously reported in 2019 that disgraced financier had confided in scientists about a scheme to seed the human race with his DNA by impregnating women at his New Mexico ranch. My goodness, it's amazing, isn't it? And Sarah Ferguson congratulated him on the birth of a baby boy back in 2011. So yeah, it's these are the documents that were released. Again, there are so many documents with so many people involved. That's without Bill Gates and his alleged STD. But again, I think that may have been an email planted by Epstein to discredit Gates in case, you know, the balloon went up. So yeah, Epstein wanted to create some sort of master race. Gets better and better, isn't it? It just gets better. Oh dear. And the result of this in the last 24 hours is Sarah Ferguson's charity has had to close because of her association with Epstein. Meanwhile, we'll move on. We'll move on from that. The Winter Olympics is a thing, but yeah, we've got the 2026 Winter Olympics in Milan and Cortina, and the head of the Netherlands Olympic delegation has revealed the team has been issued with strict instructions to combat potential COVID-19 concerns. Members of the Dutch speed skating team were pictured arriving in Italy wearing face masks, apparently. I haven't actually got any pictures of them here though, so we'll just have to take their word for it. But yeah, the head of the Winter Olympics team for the Netherlands was asked about their decision to wear masks, and Carl Verheugen explained it came as part of a precautionary measure to protect against possible COVID-19 cases. And they were also instructed not to shake hands as well. So there we go. That's in Milano Cortina. I thought we were done with COVID. I thought that was all over, wasn't it? Haven't we done that? Meanwhile, talking of Elon Musk has been raided in France. That's right. Paris prosecutors have raided the French offices of the network X, with Elon himself summoned for an interview. The operation, which involves EU police agency Europol, is part of an investigation opened in January 2025 into a range of alleged offences, including spreading child pornography and deepfakes. And it's the cybercrime unit is looking to alleged complicity in the denial of crimes against humanity and manipulation of an automated data processing system as part of an organised group. Blimey. I don't do this to the other social media sites, do they? So yeah, he's also been summoned for a voluntary interview in April. And here is Elon himself saying, "I know nothing." I always think of that Spitting Image song, "I've never met a nice South African." Do you remember that one? just me then. Just me then. The Paris I'm sorry, it's a bit of a there's a bit of alliteration here that I need to get my lips around. The Paris I'm going to take a run up at it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. The Paris Public Prosecutor's Office at the time confirmed the investigation, denouncing the alleged biased algorithms which may have distorted the operation of automated data processing system. I don't know what that means. Sounds good though, doesn't it? Laurent Bouanec, French director, surely, of X, pushed back against the investigation in January last year, saying X had strict, clear and public rules which protected the platform from hate speech and disinformation. And again, Musk has denied it too. So he's getting it all sides, isn't he? He's getting it all sides. Poor old Elon. Poor old Elon. That's a shame, isn't it? Isn't it a shame? Isn't it a shame? I can't do that one. There's not a lot on it, but I've got a couple of good ones that I've got in the folder. But I'm going to do those at the end. Oh, here we go. This is a landmark New York case. Again, if those of you have been following the weird cultural morass we've been slopping through, I think that's the best way of describing it, and with regards to trans ideology, will perk up when they hear about this case. This is a landmark New York court decision. Yes, this tells the story of a young woman who had a mastectomy while a teenager, in order to live as a boy, has been awarded $2 million in compensation for her suffering. This is a landmark case which could spark potentially thousands of similar lawsuits. Oh, they'll take notice when money's involved, both in Britain and the US, countries that have enthusiastically embraced transgender ideology. Again, when you're an adult, do what you want. But as Roger Waters once said, leave those kids alone. Campaigners believe the case brought by Fox Varian, now 22, will herald the end of the massive medical and social experiment on youngsters who believe they were born in the wrong body. No. Again, you've got to look at it in the opposite way. The body's right, it's the brain that's wrong. Because that's how we used to treat any kind of delusional behaviour. The body's fine, it's your brain that's the issue. But somehow we've put the shoe on the wrong foot. Again, like I say, if you're an adult, get advice, do what you want. But as kids, we should really be letting them explore their world and find their own way before we put them under the knife. Again, any surgery, and again, any surgery has an inherent risk. Anything, even having your tonsils out, is dangerous, and you should always think twice about having any kind of surgery. You should only do it as a last resort. The world's richest man, Elon Musk, he's here again, whose son Xavier, who transitioned to become Vivian in 2022, claims he was tricked by doctors and told the child would take his own life if he refused to consent to cross-sex hormone treatment. This is normally a precursor to trans surgery. After the Fox Varian ruling, Mr. Musk said yesterday there will be thousands more court cases for children who will mutilated by evil doctors. The schools, psychologists, psychiatrists and state officials who facilitated this will pay dearly too. Indeed, once money's involved, everyone will suddenly, kind of see some clarity here. Many young people in Britain, some only 18, 19, have undergone irreversible operations by the NHS and by private surgeons to have various parts of their bodies removed and their genitalia restructured to mimic the opposite sex. Meanwhile, in the US, 28 compensation cases are now in the pipeline, with President Donald Trump acting to restrict transgender surgery on children and teenagers. Absolutely right. Again, we don't let teenagers get tattoos or take drugs. We look after our children, but this has become a thing, and it's absolutely bonkers. If you have children, you know what they're like. Again, some kids want to be a fire truck, but you don't have a ladder grafted to their back, do you? During the hearing, the plaintiff? I guess it would be. Her lawyers accused the doctors of pushing a double mastectomy on her when she was just 16. That's disgraceful. The life-altering surgery is approved by a psychologist and a surgeon, both of whom the jury found liable for medical malpractice. So there you go. Miss Varian's lawyer said the psychologist had put the idea into her head that transgender surgery would be necessary and drove that train, and she will now receive a payout equivalent to £1.5 million. Her mother, Claire Deacon, testified that she only consented when she was told that her daughter might take her own life if not operated on. This man was just so emphatic and pushing and pushing and pushing that I felt like there was no good decision, said Claire in an interview after the court hearing. She suggested that the suicide warning was a scare tactic added, and I think he, the psychologist, believed that what he was saying was, but he was very, very wrong. And yeah, here we go. And there will be many, many more. I remember saying this, God, whenever it was, when I first became aware of all this happening, I said, give it 10 years. Give it 10 years for it to sort itself out. But anyway, let's see if we can find another news story. Oh, here we go. This is a TikTok challenge that's going on at the moment. I wouldn't know. I've never used it. A quick scroll through TikTok reveals thousands of people taking on the chia seeds challenge, blissfully unaware of their lives could be at risk. This is called Darwinism, love. Darwinism in action, you know, where the weak-minded of our society remove themselves from the gene pool. You know, Epstein, he wanted to take over the gene pool. These people are removing themselves from it. The trend involves drinking a cup of water containing 2 tablespoons of chia seeds from 7 to 40 consecutive days, with devotees claiming it's helped them shed substantial amounts of weight with minimal effort. Chia seeds are highly hydrophilic, means that they can absorb up to 27 times their weight in liquid and form a thick gel when submerged in water. That can't be good. On TikTok, some users call the chia seeds and water drink tadpole water because it's of appearance and texture. Lovely. And it's said to encourage weight loss by acting as a natural laxative. Crikey, I don't need that. Take some metformin. You'll be evacuating in 20 minutes. That's my diabetes drug, by the way. While their absorbent properties make them versatile ingredients for thickening smoothies and making puddings, some absorb water from the digestive tract and can cause a blockage. Yeah, so there you go. But yeah, in 2014, an unidentified man turned up at a North Carolina hospital unable to swallow, and chia seeds were the cause. Dr. Rebecca Rule, who helped treat the patient, said the mass had become like plasticine. A quote from the Times, she said it got this almost sort of Play-Doh like consistency, very hard in terms of liquid but sort of soft, and none of her usual tools worked to dislodge the blockage, so it's use an endoscope and chip away at the congested lump until it was small enough to push down into the stomach. She added, it was very labour intensive, and here are some chia seeds. So I don't want any of you out there trying this challenge. Alright, it's not a good idea. But yeah, it's just an absolute. Why are people so dumb? Yeah. What I got to do? Right, so I'm just. Meanwhile, FIFA chief is forced to apologise after making a joke. This is Gianni Infantino. It means child, isn't it? Gianni Child. And he's the FIFA president. He said at last month's World Economic Forum in Davos that the World Cup in Qatar in 2022 had been special because for the first time in history, no Brit was arrested. Oh, come on, that's funny. Are you insulted by that? I find that amusing. His comments were described as a cheap joke at the expense of fans by Football Supporters Association, whilst the UK's football policing chief constable Mark Roberts said they were neither helpful nor accurate. Yeah, we did have some people arrested, he said. No, I'm joking, I don't know. Infantino was asked about the comments in an interview on Sky News and said, I need to first apologise. It was meant to be more of a light-hearted remark to show that the World Cup in Qatar was a celebration, was peaceful, and that everyone came together. So having English fans, real fans, coming in a peaceful way and enjoying and cheering on for their team was something that was fantastic. And here he is. I mean, again, it's just a harmless joke. It's just a isn't it? Isn't it a harmless joke? I mean, but I wonder if I'm just going to find out. You talk amongst yourselves. Just doing a little search to see. Yeah, no fans were arrested, but only 4,000 fans, I reckon, actually travelled to Qatar to watch the World Cup. So that's probably a reason why, you know. There wasn't enough fans there to get arrested in the first place. Oh, Daily Mail website, don't ever change. I love it when it refreshes and just leaves the page blank, like there's nothing there at all. That's just useful. Thanks for your auto refresh. Oh, it's come back now. Now the thing about doing coffee times is I did a run of them last week, you know, like you do. Did a run of them. Now all the news stories have changed. I did a run of them last week, and they started off well, and then they reduced to a dribble of views. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know if that's you lot or if that's YouTube. Starts off well, relatively well. Don't get many views on this. This is more done to entertain the missus, because she watches this and she has her lunch. But anyway, I'm just wittering on really, and I'm very unfocused. Meanwhile, again, this is another part of the Epstein. I should have lumped this in with the beginning. We've got the Mandelson thing. Peter Mandelson is just an absolute shite-hawk of a person, but we knew that, and he should never have wheedled his way back into politics. But he's turned up in the Epstein files, and he was very, very involved in it, with money being sent to his husband through Epstein, apparently. But he denies it. He says, "Oh, this is all fake." But what isn't fake is an email from Mandelson to Epstein on the eve of the EU stuffing a load of money. I think it was something like 300 million euros into the Euro banks zone in order to prop it up. Again, this is insider trading. I imagine that Epstein made an awful lot of money out of that information, and Mandelson should be in prison for it. But again, they hate you. They all hate you. All these politicos, they hate you. You're going to be poor whilst they're going to be rich. That's how it works. That's how it works. So you're not seeing the pattern now. And it doesn't matter which one you vote for. This power is corrupting. This is why we need a people's parliament. We need to get rid of this, a revolving people's parliament where we make the decisions and these arseholes are out of our lives forever. Because then all these problems would soon go away. All our problems would be solved because we'd vote on them, and we'd vote on them quickly. But yeah, Mandelson needs to be arrested, and he needs to be in prison because it's all there. It is all there. Oh, this is a good one. Gary Barlow. You remember Gary Barlow is in Take That. They're a pop group. I don't know if outside of the UK, I don't know if they're big or not. But on Take That's last tour, he was going through Tokyo Airport when he inadvertently sparked a bomb scare. Here is Barlow himself. And you're probably thinking, how? How did he do that? Well, anyway, at one of the shows, whoops, at one of the shows, they use all these pyrotechnics to, you know, wow the audience. And he explained as he was going through the check-in, he was told, "We need to swab you." They swab him. I've never been swabbed at an airport, but it's the first time. Probably new thing. He said, and all of a sudden, 6 people, you know, surrounded him. 6 policemen. They surrounded him. They said, "You've got gunpowder on you." And they said, "Not a small bit. It's a lot." And I'm thinking, oh God, they've all got guns. And then he said, "Wait a minute." Then the penny dropped. He said, "Wait a minute. I've been on stage with pyrotechnics." And he said he pulled up the internet and showed them the gig, where he come from. And eventually they swabbed the rest of his belongings and found out obviously there was no gunpowder on those, and he was allowed to pass through. This comes as part of the new Take That documentary that's airing on Netflix, which was released last week on January the 27th. I have not watched it. I might give it a watch, but we had that one that was on the BBC. Was it on the BBC? And here they are in their heyday in the 90s. I remember the 90s. There you go. So be careful if you're dealing with pyrotechnics, you could end up being swabbed. Meanwhile, Ryanair, the what do you call them, cheapskate travel airplane firm, have encouraged plane passengers to stop wearing jeans on board flights. Yeah. In a post on its TikTok account, at Ryanair said the carrier shared a video with the caption, "It's 2026, let's stop travelling in jeans." And this sparked a debate. And so here's the clip. I'm of an age that, you know, when you went on a plane, you wore a suit. Many of you probably can't believe this, but we used to dress up. To go on the plane. You know, I've actually got pictures of me wearing a suit to get on a plane, because that's what you did. Wearing jeans during a flight has been criticised before, with experts weighing in on the matter. Dr. Hugh Pabaru, what a great name. He's a leading physician and vein specialist with Metro Vein Centres, argued that in the past there are negative effects in doing so. Quote, "The clothing we wear when we fly can significantly impact our circulation. For example, tight clothing is not recommended." But how can I wear skinny jeans, so maybe I'll get a blood clot. But yeah, he says wearing leggings and other restricted garments reduces the ability to blood to flow in and out of the legs, and sitting for extended periods of time can lead to blood pooling in the legs with a risk of deep vein thrombosis, or DVT, and you don't want that to happen. And look, here's somebody wearing jeans whilst waiting for a flight. What do you think? Leave your comments. You won't. In the comments box below. But so yeah. Meanwhile, China has unveiled a CGI video of a new warship. This is what they describe as a futuristic Star Wars space carrier that can deploy nearly 100 unmanned fighters. Oh, the trailer is the Melania one again, aren't they? They're doing the Melania trailer again. They're really pushing it, aren't they? Nobody wants to go and see it, that's the only problem. But yeah, this is the Luanayo, which is slated to be 790 foot long and 2,244 foot wide, and have a takeoff weight of 120,000 tons. They reckon will be launched in the next 20 to 30 years. So let's have a look at this thing. Whoops. It's like something from a Marvel movie, isn't it? Blimey, we're doomed. Well, I welcome our Chinese overlords. Yeah, I think we're doomed, everyone. But yeah, that's their new warship. It's going to be the biggest in the world, and designed to carry up to 88 unmanned Swang new fighter jets. These planes, still in their conceptual stage, were designed to be highly manoeuvrable, stealth aircraft capable of launching hypersonic missiles. And there's a still of it. Again, looks like something from a Marvel movie. That's not frightening at all, is it? I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Oh, can I do that one? I don't think I can. No, I'm not going to do that one. I've got other ones that are better. I'm just looking to see if there's an animal story. I don't think there is. Singer Chuck Negron of Three Dog Night fame has died, age 83. That's one for Andrew out there if he's watching. So I don't. Was Three Dog Night big in the UK? Isn't Three Dog Night the one? Isn't that the theme tune to Old Grey Whistle Test? Isn't it Three Dog Night? I think it might be. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I never am. I never am wrong. Oh, we've got some Sydney Sweeney news. Apparently, the boss of the Hollywood sign has claimed that CGI was used in the video showing Sydney Sweeney decorating the landmark with bras. She went viral last week when we covered it, when she hung her lingerie off of the popular tourist attraction in LA, and they said it was recorded without permission. And Jeff Zarinam, the head of the Hollywood Sign Trust, is convinced that parts of the footage was digitally altered. He told BBC's Newsbeat, they used CGI for that. There's no way you could have covered the sign with that amount of time. It would have taken you hours to do it. Okay, well, this gives me the chance to wheel out of that now. The Daily Mail have posted this picture, nothing to do with me, but this is the picture they're using to show you who Sydney Sweeney is. This is nothing to do with me, but it's something for the dads, all right? It's not my fault. It's the Daily Mail what done it. And here she was at the Hollywood sign. All CGI, they reckon. I don't know, does that look like CGI to you? I just think they're grumpy that she did it, you know. They're a bit grumpy that she managed to... Oh, what the hell? Here's another one of her in her underwear. Oh dear. So yeah, I'm just trying to find an animal story. Meanwhile, there's been they're linking a surge in psychosis with, altogether now, cannabis use. No, so it's all right. This is something we've known about for many years. A new study has noted the concerning surge in young people being diagnosed with psychotic illnesses such as schizophrenia. Research carried out by Canadian researchers looked at hospital data associated with 12.2 million people born between 1960 and 2009 live in the province of Ontario. Of the cohort, about 152,000 diagnosed with psychotic disorders classed as either schizophrenia, spectrum disorder or psychosis. And of these, there was a distinct increase in cases in people born from 1980 onwards. The data revealed that the new diagnosis in teenagers and young people aged 14 to 20 rose by 60% between 1997 and 2023. 60%. Those born between 2000 and 2004 were estimated to be 70% more likely to be diagnosed with schizophrenia than people in the late 70s. The researcher from ICES, that's ICES, the North York General Ottawa Hospital Research Institute and Briere Health Research Institute looked at the amount of people who had been diagnosed with mental illness by the age of 30 and found that those born in the early 1990s were 38% more likely to have psychosis diagnosed compared to those born in the late 70s. And but yeah. And there's a big. I'm trying to edit this as I go because it's quite a big bit of text here. Lead author Dr. Daniel Myron said, consequently, the observed trends raise important questions about the possible causes and consequences of these increasing numbers. He said the one possibility for the surge in psychotic disease is the use of drugs, particularly cannabis, adding that there is an undeniable correlation between the increase in substance use in Canada and its findings. A leading possibility is substance use, including cannabis, stimulants, hallucinogens, and synthetic drugs, he said. So there you go. Again, more work needs to be done on that. But it's not surprising, really. Or, I mean, again, and in the future, you got the old added aspect of social media, which I think sends a lot of people a little bit loopy-loo too, doesn't it? Yeah. What else have we got? Yeah, there's no animal stories, but we're going to end this one. This is, I think we'll file this under Not All Heroes Wear Capes. This is the story of Donna Gillette. Here she is. Now, we're going to have to ask ourselves, is she a hero or is she a villain? Right? Because the healthcare assistant, right, was witnessed pleasuring a dementia-stricken old age pensioner whilst washing him at the nursing home where she worked, and joking about his big one. Yeah, Donna Gillette, 43, grabbed the 77-year-old man's doobry as a shocked junior colleague looked on in horror and quipped about the size of his manhood and asked if he liked women with big bottoms. Chester Crown Court heard when he replied, yeah. Gillette of Winsford, Cheshire, let him touch her bottom. Right? But she said, no breasts, only bottom, because she's a lady. Yeah, she ended up in court over this and narrowly avoided jail. She was later fired and reported to the police after the horrified colleague told senior staff about the encounter, and she has subsequently admitted engaging in sexual activity with a mentally disordered male. Unfortunately, the 77-year-old involved is not here anymore. I mean, he hasn't moved. He's all down there after this, I'd imagine. So he can't say, well, actually, you know. Now, you see, this is the thing. If I was 77-year-old and I was at the end of my days, and a nurse was, you know, pleasuring little Darren, I'm not gonna push her away. I'm gonna go, what the hell? I'm 77. I've earned it. But yeah, last Friday she was sentenced to 3 months suspended sentence, ordered to complete 200 hours of unpaid work and 20 days of rehabilitation activity. And this is what gets me. She was also made to sign the sex offenders register for 7 years and banned from working with children for the rest of her life. I don't think children are the problem. It's old age pensioners they need to keep her away from. I can imagine there's a lot of elderly men looking ruefully into the distance now about this, and I think they need to get out on the streets. Forget, you know, free Palestine. No, this is where the joke writes itself. They need to start saying, Gillette, the best a man can get. I don't even need to make any effort anymore. But let's be serious, because this is a terrible, despicable act. Judge Stephen Everett told her this was a wholly inappropriate and truly despicable behaviour upon a gentleman in the winter of his life. He was very ill and didn't understand the ramifications of what was going on. he was groping her bottom. I think he knew what was going on. You showed him no respect as he was entitled to his dignity or any care, as you were a care worker that compounded the many illnesses he was suffering. And the incident occurred in June 2023 at the Winsford Grange Care Home. If you want to, that's the care home you want to go to. That's the care home you want to go to. But there you go. So yeah, he had dementia and Parkinson's, as well as a host of other health issues. And he was immobile and lacked capacity. Now, this is where it gets a bit. The description here, we're going to deep dive. She'd done the job for 7 years, right? And the colleague who was with her has only been working there for months, and she witnessed her. Right, he was on the bed on his side, and it was clear that he had an erection, so he was already stimulated. But they had to clean him, right? And the defendant made the light-hearted comment about him having a big one. Again, she's probably just trying to put him at ease. And she got some dry wipes and placed them on the patient's manhood and started to clean it in a motion that the colleague immediately recognised as masturbatory. I don't think, unless you dab it, there's no way to clean it without the up and down movement, is there really? And dabbing just not going to get it clean. But yeah, the defendant made a comment along the lines, I knew that would work, and repeated it when the colleague questioned it. So there you go. She asked if the man liked women with big bottoms, and he said yeah. He then went to touch the defendant's breast, but she said he couldn't do that. She said he could only touch her bum. And there you go. So I don't know. She's lost her job, yeah, and not found employment since. She just wants to put the case behind her. Boom, boom. The jokes write themselves. And we go from one bum to another, shall we? I don't even have to. Like I said, I don't even have to think about this anymore. We're going to France, right? This is at the Langres Accident Emergency Unit in Toulouse, which is in the southwest of the country. And this happened late on Saturday night, but when a 24-year-old, who's unnamed, was rushed into the hospital. He was in a state of extreme discomfort of having inserted a large object up his rectum. Yes, yes, the rectum stories are still going. The emergency surgery was carried out, and the object was found to be an artillery shell dating back to the First World War. Worse still, it had not exploded, and so the bomb disposal experts had to be called to defuse the shell with the fire brigade expanded by. It would have been the first bomb that had gone off without the use of a curry, I believe. Staff and patients were evacuated from the hospital, and a security perimeter was set up around, I was going to say around the bum, but obviously it had been removed from the bum at that point. Before the pointed 1980 shell, which was almost 8 inches long and over an inch in circumference, was declared safe. Oh dear. Oh dear. The patient, a French national, was set to be interviewed by police this week as prosecutors contemplated legal action against him for handling the category A munitions with his bum, according to an officer. And apparently, no, that can't be the size of it. That's a stock image, but blimey, I tell you, you'd know if you have that in your bottom, wouldn't you? I'm frankly shocked and appalled. And here's the hospital. If you've got an unexploded bum, I don't even have to think anymore. The jokes just write themselves. You need to go there because I know how to handle it. They said the medical staff in Toulouse are accustomed to treating victims injured during sexual games. And the 37mm brass and copper shell was 20 centimetres long and used by the Imperial German Army towards the end of the First World War. And that such shells were date stamped. There you go, so they'd know exactly how old it was. But this isn't the first time it's happened. In France, in 2022, doctors were left shell-shocked after an 88-year-old Frenchman arrived to the hospital with a World War I bomb stuck in his bottom. That was in Toulon, in southern France, at the hospital Saint-Mousse. And he had to have the shell removed from his anus, and he too sparked a bomb scare. But those bomb disposal experts determined there was little risk of the shell exploding inside the man. And it is understood that the man had inserted it inside his bottom for sexual pleasure. And they've even got the story. Look, and there's that was the shell then. Look, it's an handful, isn't it? Blimey! And on that bombshell, oh yeah, I'm in the zone. We'll head into the chat. Well, there won't be anybody there. There's nobody there. 12 people watching. Like I said, it's amazing that we actually get anybody in. Ozzy's in. He says those photos of Prince Andrew looked like a first aid course. Look, without knowing the full context of it, it could be just them arsing, people arsing around. You know, it's it's the thing that Mandelson did. Probably the most egregious. There was a lot of money exchanging hands, and there was a lot of information slopping around. I don't think Andrew was, I don't think Andrew was a source of information for Epstein. I think he was just his toy, his puppet, and he was a way of getting other people in. Oh, well, Prince Andrew's coming. Do you want to meet him? It's all about influence, and that's how these people work. But you'll know that certain people aren't on the list. It's the ones that are on the list that are interesting. And the ones that aren't, there's no. I don't think Bush is on the list or Obama, but Clinton is. So it's quite interesting to see how certain people operate. It's the people who aren't on the list that we need to be talking about, I think. Ben says they sung "Joy to the World" indeed. Stray says, "Hey Dan, what coffee are you drinking?" Oh, some instant crap. It's just instant crap because that's all I can afford, because I do YouTube videos and know that nobody watches. Oh dear. It's a real bombshell story indeed. Stray says, an artillery shell. They don't like it up them. Very Dad's army. Well, no, they do like it up them. That's the thing. That quote's wrong. They do enjoy it. It's just when they try and get it out, they can't get it out anymore. Grant's in. Says you've tried it with a Toblerone. I'll leave that to you. You do know I've got one tattoo, and it's above my arse crack, and it's a no entry sign. So just in case I do go to prison, because I'm so pretty, I'm not going to last a day. I'm going to be somebody's wife within an hour because I'm so pretty. Bond says NASA should go into comedy indeed, and Grant says I tried it with Gable's new CD. Gives a whole new meaning to the Full Moon Club. I'm out of here. I'm just going to play the clip so I don't have to say it. All right. And subscribe, like and subscribe. If you don't, I'll spit in your eye. That's it. I've done the thing. I'm now going to leave. Thank you for watching. That was the news, whether you liked it or not. I don't know if it was the news you wanted, but it was the news you needed. And with that, have a good time all the time. Ta-ta.